What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We started by saturating the hair and combing everything in place, making sure everything is nice and neat. We then started off with our no guard all the way open, and we created our second guideline first instead of making our first guideline with our trimmers. This is gonna help us keep the fade a little bit lower and contour it to his head shape. Now that we're done creating our second guideline, we can move on to our Goat FX and create our first guideline. Now that we're done creating our bald line and balding him out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and then slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Don't be afraid to move the ear with your opposite hand and also stretch the skin to give you more room to blend. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a super thanks down below or follow the Instagram. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. As you guys can see, now that I'm done softening up the line with the one guard and its lever, I can move on to the half guard, and I'm also going to use the corners and the lever to erase it completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your half guard, so switching over to your no guard all the way open using those corners will definitely help. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. I'm also flicking out as much as possible, and I'm staying away from the parietal ridge. I'm not going too high. With this same guard, I'm then going to use the lever to soften up this line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard and its lever, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and try to erase it completely. Again, sometimes after using your 1.5 guard, there's still a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using those corners will definitely help. Now we're moving on to our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us create our silhouette and finish off the top. The hair was a little bit oversaturated, so I took out my blow dryer and dried it out a little bit. Now that the hair is a little bit drier and laid down, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and flick out as much as possible while using the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. This is going to help us build our silhouette. Here I'm detailing as much as possible with my 1.5 guard. I'm also using the corners as much as possible. Now that we're done detailing the sides, we can move on to the back, and we're starting off with our no guard all the way open, and we're slightly closing the lever midway and all the way close, attacking that initial guideline. We are near the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you detail as much as possible and pay attention. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our 3rd guideline. We're then going to slightly use this lever to soften up this line and get ready for the 1/2 guard. Now that the line is soft enough, I'm moving on to my 1/2 guard, and I'm going to use the corners and its lever to remove the line completely. Now I'm heading back to my 1 guard all the way open just to re-clarify the line and also take it up a little bit higher. Now I'm moving on to my 2 guard all the way open, and I'm using it to create my 4th guideline. Remember, we're also using this lever to soften up this line, and we're going to get ready for the 1.5 guard. As you guys can see, we're using the 1.5 guard and its lever to soften up this line and try to remove it completely. But since it's right on top of the occipital bone, we are going to need to switch over to our 1 guard all the way open and use the corners and its lever to erase the line completely. Now we're moving on to our 3 guard all the way open, and we're going to use our comb to feed the hair into the clipper while we flick out with our guard. You also want to pay attention and not go high here, because you will cut the calic area and then it's going to cave in. Now we're moving on to our thinning shears, and we're going to grab the hair with our comb and cut it with our thinning shears, just a tip, so we're also making sure we don't go too deep and cut too much bulk off. I did see a fade line between the 1.5 guard and the 2 guard, so I switched over to my 2 guard and used the lever to soften it up. We're going to knock the beard to a 3 guard all the way open, and we're going to make sure everything's nice and even and run everything over multiple times. Now we're going to move on to sideburns. When I'm fading the beard, I always start off with my no guard all the way open, and then I slightly close the lever all the way closed. Then I move on to my 1 guard all the way open and use it as my second guideline, and then I slightly close the lever all the way closed again. Sometimes I use the 1.5 guard, sometimes I don't. Now we're moving on to the 2 guard all the way open, and we're also using this to debulk. Now we're switching over to our Gold FX. We're going to light up the back of the beard. We're also being careful we don't press too hard near the neck area, because you could bite them with the teeth of the trimmer. The C-cup areas are some of the most important parts of the haircut. So when I'm using my trimmers, I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch. And I'm always making sure I go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair's going to shift and then you won't line them up properly. Here we're cleaning up the bottom of the mustache. Then we're going to move on to the lower beard and make sure it's as crispy as possible. When lining up the beard, you want to do it like the C-cups. You want to go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair's going to shift and then you won't line them up properly, then it won't look as crispy as possible. Again, when you're lining up the C-cups, I always start off at the bottom, work my way to the top arch. I'm also making sure I use the corners of the blade and I'm not pressing too hard, because you could leave them a little rash or you could cut them with the teeth of the trimmer. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a super thanks down below or follow the Instagram. Now that we're done detailing the back, we can move on to our shear work and make sure everything's nice and even on top. When I get to the sides of the capitus, I'm cutting at an angle and I'm making sure it blends in with the top and sides.